Hey everybody, and welcome back to... Oh, what is this map called? Can't remember. Erlengrat, something like?
Erlengrat.
Yeah.
Erlengrat.
Erlengrat.
Gonna be the problem I have with it.
Yeah, I can never pronounce these European map names.
I tried calling it Erlenberg earlier. Probably shouldn't have said that because now that's going to be a worm that's placed in FK's mind.
Welcome back to Erlengrat. That's it. That's it. We are on the community multiplayer server in the Discord.
Alright,
And
Railroad
I've got
Silo East.
Jacer with me.
Oh yeah, they look like
Rasnik
they
with
fit.
me. And Cookie's with me. But we're going
So I'm
Cookie.
wondering,
How you doing, GoldenEye? Paul,
You know,
simulated flight.
geographically
Farmer.
speaking,
How you
the
doing,
map is
everybody?
kind of flipped backwards. You know, like if that's Railroad Silo East,
Yeah,
maybe south is north and north is south. That's what I'm thinking.
I don't know.
You get back, you get in this hole, surrounded by mountains.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
Left is left and right is right.
The only thing that's for sure in these mountains is that when you ski, you go downhill.
Yeah. You go anywhere, you have to go up. Hey, Hunter, what's up? Now, this is rather interesting. We've got seasons enabled. We're running 9-day seasons, and it is early spring, obviously.
I really like the map.
We've got snow on the distant mountains,
Impressed
but
me
the
with
valley
this
down
one.
here is thawed out and ready to go for field work. Got a custom farm built up there at the start farm. We're not using the new farmer farm. I have built
Well,
out
like
our
we
own.
said before, FK, it seems like every time more equipment comes out, it's a little better done. You know, it seems like
a little
they're
better, I think. Maybe we can go through and just refine what we...
I agree.
Asset DLC, fabulous. Kinds of folks. They're farm like never before, build your own farm.
Yeah, they really need to go back and touch up some of the old stuff. It's kind of, just annoying that there's stuff that still doesn't have hoses in the base game.
I agree. Like a really big update that brings everything forward.
Pretty much everything that came forward from 17, supposedly, including the Coon deal.
Same with the buildings now. Like it'd be nice if they went into Ravenport, Fellsbrunn.
Hey Logan, what's up? When I get done plowing this field, go show you what the farm looks
Distant
like.
scenery. They could update a lot of stuff. I don't think there are. I think they're gonna start.
Now we're
focusing on
buying
the new one.
buying some sheep for the sheep shed up there.
Was this the last DLC for 19, or is there more coming still?
I think when they did the announcement,
See over
didn't
there,
they like when they announced that they weren't
big cow shed.
releasing a
put
new
in,
game this year, I think they said they're gonna
fermenting
have
silo.
5 paid DLCs.
Oh, there's the Unitrac. There's our fertilizing equipment. Light in the front.
Light, I'm gonna step up to a bigger weight when it's full.
And I think we've had 5 DLCs since they made the announcement.
I'm disappointed by that John Deere cotton one. I've hardly ever used anything out of it.
Yeah, the one I refer to that one as the McCormick deal. Whole bunch of McCormick equipment. 4 or 5 pieces. John Deere because it's got John Deere round cotton bale. Plus it's cotton bale. Cotton DLC. Something.
Bothered with cotton, haven't really seen the feel of it as a crop.
I was talking the other day. It's interesting that it's added sugarcane in 17. That's one of those you do once crops. And cotton was, people did a lot of cotton when it came out. And a lot of people do cotton on the YouTube. Streaming folks doing cotton. How much cotton in normal cane. Like, that's nice. Interest is over. Let me go back to the traditional crops.
Yeah, I know. I feel
Hey, Scooter's
like
workbench.
I had more traditional stuff that you could use normal equipment with. So out of all the new crops, I'd probably plant oats the most, honestly.
Trying to square this field off.
Well, and the other thing, if they're going to have poplar, shouldn't the base game at some point actually have a energy transfer station that uses it, that's provided with it without a mod? You know? But there's another plant that you do one time. I don't remember whether it was during a live stream or what we did, but I remember spending days in one not very big poplar field with that itty bitty little harvester.
It's just not financially, it just doesn't pay, you know?
Well, there was a little burner deal, a burner mod,
Yep,
a poplar burner, and having that down on the end of the field, that helped because we didn't have to go very far. But
I think this turned the right way. I don't know. Looks right. Oh, you golden eye said the over. That's called the bull. That yeah, that DLC had the token John Deere 9 RX. So you could say that the Alpine expansion, Anderson, for 2 expansions, didn't have a token piece of John Deere equipment.
Cooverland.
Oh, the Cooverland didn't also. Okay. Then we all got the free John Deere Gator. That console.
I can't say I use John Deere equipment all that much when I play, honestly.
Fabulous side. So I made a little John Deere joke in my used equipment.
Watch that one, yeah, but that mod looks kind of nice.
So I use the case because case has visible wear. Made a comment that I didn't use John Deere because it doesn't seem like John Deere's show any wear in game. It's probably because they're just all plastic. Everything wears out. The case is
Homer's growing up, but you don't see that many mods for those floating around.
How's everybody in chat tonight? Do a little in-cab driving. You can see how that front part of the tractor's twisting, separate of the
Oh, I
back
think
half.
I may have made an error here. I forgot. I put sheep in the pen. I forgot that the water valve installation takes a while. Do we have a water point, a water pickup point still on the map?
You draw it out of the river.
Fluid. With pipe.
Well, right, but it won't install till tomorrow morning, right?
Oh, it's already there. I placed them earlier today.
Oh, you've already gone placed?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. Oh, yeah, you're right. See, I was thinking, okay, sorry. I was thinking I had to hit the install and then, because, see, I made that mistake before where it doesn't install till the next morning. And once you start the install, you can't put water in manually. You can't use a water tank to put in water. Huh. Nope. No, once it starts the install, it doesn't recognize.
I think the trigger goes away.
Yeah. And so then your animals die by the time they get water at 4 p.m. the next day.
Like the Seasons one till it installs.
So, well, see, it's been so long since I played Seasons. Last week I played non-Seasons on my own for the first time in, 7 months. And that's when I lost some cattle. Because it took all night.
Yeah,
Hold on.
when I
But-
started the No Man's Land server, I had cows in my trailer when it turned midnight. They all died.
Yeah.
Sucks.
But you can start right away and before you do the water trough install, you can put water in it manually before you start that. Fill it up, and then that'll keep your livestock going until 4 p.m. the next day. But once you start the install, that's it.
Yeah, the valve should be on the
Yep, got it.
side of
Got
the
it.
building.
Yeah, I forgot that you had already done that, and I was thinking there was going to be a token that, I was going to have to push the button.
Yeah.
So good thing, thank you. Otherwise I'd have had 30 dead sheep.
I put it on. I placed those two. Then I placed the one down at the bottom of the hill for the cows. That one I put inside the building. Then it made me think, oh, Alps. I have really cold winters. Maybe I should have tried to put those other pipes inside of something. Freezing cold. Oh, I guess.
Good enough, right? It's a good idea, though.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out what to do for my build, because I know traditionally they don't have a whole lot of new modern buildings. It seems like in this area in real life.
Right.
But then again,
Yeah, there's some other rustic European buildings out. Well, I mean, not in terms of animals, but in terms of storage sheds. There's some other mods out there.
yeah, I think I'm gonna use the other pack opposite of what he used here.
Hey, terraforming.
The timber farm pack or the log pack. I can't remember what it was.
There
Right
are
on
two
the-
that share nearly the same. It had a big cow area. What I want to do for my playthrough. Big time dairy producer for Cockroach.
Ah, good idea.
For having just 50 cows. That building holds 200. I was going to fill her up. 50. Decent. Up the hall. Keep the town employed.
Yeah, mostly focused on the BGA, but that takes forever when you're running silage by yourself.
I think that's what we've done. I think that's I think that's this pack.
I love it though. I love doing
That's what I
silage. I
used.
don't know why.
I do the bales most of the time just because it's a little easier. That little open station tractor that came in this pack though.
Oh yeah.
Something I felt was kind of missing from this version.
I just found a nice viewer mod.
Yeah, there's a
viewer
little pack.
mod pack.
Yeah, it's an in-game mod hub.
Is it? I searched.
Yeah,
Surprise! Searched in.
Is it that one that's converted from the old version?
it must. I think so. I think it's a conversion from 15.
Yeah,
or
I
something.
think I downloaded that one. I got way
Baron,
too many
what's up?
mods on my single player save.
Yeah, I thought we could get some cows once we got closer to grass available to them. Crops. Get chicken. That should keep you.
I'm over here imitating real life, just like I do the few times I've been to Europe. And I went one too many turns on the roundabout, got lost, and I'm wandering around.
Farmer's market. Yeah, we think, I don't know if we just have a snowy distant scenery because it's early spring.
I think they're like the
Or
road
what?
texture. Like
Hey,
how it's
unexplainable.
varied. It's not
What's
just
up?
a solid color.
We're running a geo. I put a geo in. I gotta look and see what
in
it
different
is.
places. There's like little
Forget
patches.
what I downloaded. Upper Austria geo. I put in the Upper Austria.
Yeah, it's all, by the looks of it, it's almost the same as mine. The Tyrolean one I put in.
Yeah, that's the one I'm using that you linked in Discord the other night.
Because I find it odd with the canola. You can plant it, but then you have to wait a whole year to harvest it. If you notice that.
No, I didn't notice that. I haven't done any arable fields on my single player one.
There we go. Oh my gosh.
If you look at the planting
So
schedule.
here we have the Upper Austria geo. We can plant wheat, barley.
The planting
now,
season and harvest season are
Plant potatoes now,
at the
but I
same
doubt
time
we're
on
going
canola.
to.
There's no spring planting available.
No cotton, obviously. I guess we're not planting canola. Takes a year to grow.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty weird.
I guess if it's typically a warmer crop. Charles, I would say it's going to be up to you, the player,
I'm messing up the
To,
rotation because I usually do, you know,
to decide.
canola
course,
rotation on the
but,
European maps.
I think the map looks really nice,
Yeah, no double
it's-
cropping on this one.
really exceeding my expectations. But I know some folks are, well, deeply disappointed, apparently.
This little truck thing's kind of nice.
I had this wrong.
Yeah, the
There's a
Lindner-
fair bit of equipment for sure, and it's rather unique,
Really
rather
used that
different.
13 back when I was
Like
in
this
that one.
tractor has 150 horsepower, kind of unique. that
See, I started
if you
in
pay
17,
attention,
so a lot of this stuff that they brought.
it'll be a little hard to see here, but if you pay
rebrought into
attention,
the game,
the front half and the back half are independent. The front half is going to be rotating. Front half rotates left and right, independent of the rear half.
I love when console
And
players.
it's all designed about
complain
keeping
not
that
having
low
mods.
center
I'm
of
like,
gravity.
When I started playing, I played on the Nintendo
For
Switch.
hillside work,
There are no mods.
there's a lot of
You can't even get mods.
all this yellow
Not for the Switch.
is grass. Ton of grass available on the map, and just 25 fields.
Serious player keyboard now doesn't feel right to use a controller.
It's designed to be more of a dairy map, grass map. 2 big sell points in town. They're going to be buying milk. It's not geared towards big farming. It's geared towards
But now fertilizer side.
smaller equipment.
Or do I need to keep buying the big bags?
I put down some buy points at Railroad Silo East. There's a thing on the map that says seed station missing.
We've got, I guess it's kind of the gimmick of the map is that Rigitrac, which is the new brand of tractor here. Rigitrac has an electric tractor. Buy and use an electric tractor in the game.
Pretty sure they're buy points.
What you put down?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I first downloaded those to put at the farm. Then I saw the ones I put down to farm. What I put down to farm. And the ones I put down to farm are silos that can hold your grains, seed, fertilizer, and lime. I've got a normal silo for the crops. 3 of those down. 2 small ones for seed and fertilizer, and then a small one for lime and seed and fertilizer. So there's an electric tractor, there's a charging station, but it's all kinds of equipment to basically do hillside farming.
I use that little electric tractor a lot in my single player. I kind of like that thing.
They get turned around, and I'll show you some equipment in the shop. Did a
It is
2-hour.
nice. I played with it just a little bit, but it didn't seem like the charge dropped very fast. I kind of
Did a 2-hour
thought
live
it would
stream
chew through the charge faster.
Yeah, I think I need to up that.
the other day.
You know, they might have
Range.
compromised. Yeah, they
So
might have
we've got-
compromised on that.
This Buer is part of the
I
pack.
can mow all the fields.
The little
that you
electric
start with,
tractor,
and, the normal
68
saver
horsepower,
hardly take any charge
110
out of it.
horsepower.
Yeah.
This little thing, which is rather interesting, is 109 horsepower, and see how it's designed for hillside work. It's really low center of gravity. Get wide tires, dual tires, really wide footprint work on hillsides. And it's great for like a mower in the front and a windrower in the back. So keep an eye on your fuel. Have more fuel usage installed. And that means electric tractor, a lot of fuel.
Oh, cool.
Well, I've really empty. Only put 1.8 hours on this tractor.
Burned around a quarter tank already. I've only ran this thing a half hour.
So that's going to be the fun part of this. More fuel usage. I don't think I put slower refueling in too. I don't know. Oh, there's new trees on the map, so we have some new grass textures, new weeds. So no, we don't have. Let me see if I can make this front tilt up.
So the average size of a farm in Austria, which I think
There we go.
Felsburn in this map.
There we go. So we can see.
After is only 45 acres.
See how the front rotates independent to the rear. That's designed obviously to aid in following the terrain, keeping all the wheels on the ground.
Most of your arable farming's done.
Pretty much all the driving equipment,
Makes sense to me.
all the tractors included in the pack have four-wheel steer, so you can really get around tight spaces.
But 2/3 of all farms are located in the Alpine Mountains.
Here's the Unitrac that we were talking about. I put Clyde's tools on it. It has four-wheel steer, full tires on the sides.
Austria is the
You
second
can actually get it with
biggest
3-point
soybean producer
3-point on the front and the back.
in the European Union.
It has modular beds. Right now we have kind of a trailer bed on there. You could put a manure spreader on there, quarry spreader on there, a forage wagon, module.
I love Google.
Google loves you. I'm gonna say he loves you.
Climate's ideal for grains, wheat, barley, rye, as well as sugar beets.
What's up, room? What's up?
Hey, what's going on?
Just saw this little crowd over here and thought I'd drop by and see what's up.
You'd even cooler if you'd actually gain here that could game on the internet.
Actually, I was just thinking about that today. I have a computer that can game on the internet now. I've just never had the balls to actually try it.
Well, let's do it.
I should. I even have the DLC.
And then you don't even have to be playing on your own map, play on someone else's.
Yeah, that's a novel thought. I haven't done that in forever.
I heard a loud bang.
Oh, a bang? Oh dear. In your house?
It's probably one of the kids.
It's usually one of my kids dropping something or above.
Well, you have an upstairs. Yeah, I used to have one of those.
Well, you live in Floodville.
I know, right?
The water table's probably a shovel depth over the sea.
Well, where I live, I'm a little bit higher than that. But yeah, if I go down to where it's not hilly, then yeah, a couple of shovelfuls and you got water.
Terraforming is very frustrated. Not working.
I am actually, but I'm just doing it kind of slowly. I'm suffering from map burnout.
Well, then you need to come play.
I know, right? I'm thinking about it.
And I was, keep in mind, if I can do this, anybody can do this. Because I had never touched a controller, as you remember, until they drugged me into FS17.
Hey, Genetic J.
Ah, okay.
Who's
So
the
you're a
game?
newbie when it comes to FS.
Well, yeah, exactly. Because I played.
Sim January of 2019, and Raz and I did our very first multiplayer challenge. Him and Nitro Dad did I don't know how many.
Unbelievable.
They cut more trees down on that map than just on this.
Wow. Cool.
He never does forestry again. No why.
Let's see, I'll have to find the link and get your mod list then. Are you running lots of mods on there or just a few?
And in
Okay, I'll look for it and see then. Yeah, that won't be bad. I got my Ryzen system is the one I'm actually playing the game on now, and I like it better than the old Intel. It's a 3600X. I got 16 gig of RAM. I'm still running the old 980 GTS video card, but it seems to do all right.
All is well.
Throw the cores at it. Throw the cores at it.
I know, right?
Score 12-thread processor.
Yep. Well, the Intel I had before played fine. It was only the typical, quad core 4790K thing. But so I guess that means it had 8 total as far as FS was concerned. But yeah, the Ryzen's better with 12. It seems to be snappier. It definitely runs better. It's faster for sure.
I mean, when I'm not streaming, or Farm Sim uses like 7%. It's only 12 core. Farm Sim is not well filled.
No, it's not. Even now, it's not.
If anything, it might use 4 threads. Yeah.
I know the biggest thing with Farm Sim that I've found all the years I've been playing it is for video, you need a minimum of a 4 gig video card. If you have 4 gig or higher, then you're going to be fine.
Video card and it was torture.
So I know my son had a 2 gig GTX 960, I think it was, and of course he had 8 gig of memory too in his system, which was also bad. And I told him, I said, well, dude, you need to upgrade the minimum. The very minimum you need to upgrade is get your memory up to 16. He's trying to run my maps on his computer, and it wasn't working out too good. So he got the 8 gig first upgrade to 16. That made a huge difference in the performance. And then he upgraded his video card to actually he got a 980 like what I've got now. He got a 980 4 gig, and that made it a whole lot nicer.
Yeah.
Ready for another fun fact?
10.5.
This map needs a Red Bull factory because one of the leading exports to the United States from Austria is Red Bull, cheeses, and chocolates.
Cool.
Oh, they made Red Bull in Austria.
You know why the Austrian GP is run at the Red Bull ring? Also the home of Team Red Bull. I thought Red Bull. Yeah, I think Red Bull is Australian. Austrian.
So this map is actually in Austria.
I'm assuming. Just
yeah, that fits. It fits. It kind of feels that way.
Switzerland.
Yeah, Felsbrunn. In this map, I'm pretty sure themed after Austria, based upon like building architecture, same as Switzerland, kind of that Central European Alps.
I was thinking it might have been in Switzerland, but either way, either place probably is a good feel. I think either one would be accurate. Yeah.
I was thinking Felsbrunn was Germany.
I thought so too. Yeah.
And then this would be a country that borders Germany. Also in the Alps.
For example, Felsbrunn could be north of this map, and then you just go over into Germany.
Genetic is whipping out the
point.
Genetic's whipping out the geography. Liechtenstein.
But this map is Liechtenstein.
Yeah, he said. I think this map is Liechtenstein.
I might figure out for my production stuff that I've been making, the original apple trigger that I had in the very beginning. GTX told me that it would be easier if I put the fruits in the map itself, but the original cell point actually registered the fruit as the cell point was loaded. So if I can do that again, then I could put these cell point triggers could be placeable items. They're invisible, basically. You just with a set of markers, you can place them anywhere you want to on the map. And then as they place, they register the fruit type with the map, so that when you place my triggers for the production down at some other building, then you would be able to have full production, just like I have in my maps. That's what I'm hoping for anyway, without Global Company.
Liechtenstein. Genetic. Isn't that between Austria and Switzerland? Someone had to look it up.
There's the pic that Look at that church. Church is identical.
Using global company mods finally, because I hardly ever use that anymore, because there's better stuff out there usually.
Yeah, I make all of my production without global company because I hate it.
It's
dairy deer.
dairy
Yeah, that's why
deer.
I quit using it.
Haven't done very many yet. I've made a corn dryer so far, and I made evaporated milk production, flour production. Of course, I had pre-compost since way back in the beginning of Farm Simulator.
The 37X is last gen.
Well, most of the global
The
company stuff I
57X
used to
would be
use GTX
current
made
gen.
better version of.
Yeah, that's true. And it's GTX's scripts that I'm using in all of my stuff anyway, so because they work really well.
Let's go to the Liechtenstein government website of agriculture.
On the AMD side, any CPU that starts with a 5 is the current gen.
Every map's based on.
CPUs that start with 3 are last gen.
Only 1,300 hectares in the whole country are used for arable crops.
Wow.
The rest of all the surface area is grassland. There's only around 60 dairy farms in the whole country.
Oh,
It's a tiny little place.
I'm glad I'm one of them.
Yeah, buddy.
Genetic put a pick in cream check. I put it up cream. Church looks like nearly identical. The steeple, the clock, all that. I'll put it over in Discord.
People look so happy.
Put his pick in.
Yeah, that looks like it.
Yo.
I think I like the shaders in the pick better than the ones in the map, though.
I'm gonna move to Liechtenstein.
Sky looks better, too.
Speaking of moving, I was reading the other day that since the election, New Zealand has gotten like 45,000 requests for immigration from the United States.
That's funny.
New Zealand.
I don't know why.
That's hilarious.
Because like Acid Man would say and some other people, New Zealand's just an awesome place to live.
Mm-hmm.
That's a pretty big commitment. New Zealand.
Yeah, plus I think they're really restrictive, same with Australia. Like you have to show somehow that you benefit the country by moving there. They have very restrictive immigration policies. I know Australia does.
So are these folks rescinding their U.S. citizenship or revoking it, or are they just moving over there? Because I know if they just want to give up their citizenship, it's a big backlog right now to do that, and then there's a huge exit tax, so to speak. You pay a big tax in order to disavow your citizenship. That's not pretty. The typical person making a move like that, they're not thinking clearly when they do it. They're just angry because they're being taxed on things or whatever. But it's actually a lot cheaper if they just keep their citizenship and just don't be rich.
I'm gonna move to Puerto Rico. You only pay like 4%.
There you go. Just duck the hurricanes.
That's all they pay in Puerto Rico is 4% as long as you do business in Puerto Rico.
So in my map tour, I didn't even got those. Complete X. I think you showed them in your.
Yeah, Rez commented on those. All right, I'll be away for a couple of minutes. Be right back.
I thought about doing that in my maps, but I thought that'll kind of destroy the immersion of the road going on forever. So I didn't do it.
Yeah, it definitely does.
It's easy to do. You just take a little plane, turn it sideways, and have the X's on it, and then set the clip distance to like 10 meters or something, and then that way it only becomes visible right before you smack into it.
Yeah. Traffic.
But the effect that I was hoping to capture, especially with Nebraska lands, was that the land just goes on forever. So I wanted it to nothing to interfere with that. So you're just driving down the road, and all of a sudden you can't go any further.
Yeah, about the only people that can get 3000 series graphics processors are system integrators, it seems like.
Unless you got some horsepower.
Well, just about any pre-built company can probably tell you something with a 3000 in it. Hard luck finding one in the consumer market. But really, in 2 weeks, we're going to have the AMD 6000 series released that supposedly are going to compete head for
Now
head.
this server with the mod link and everything that's here, if you download the mods, that's all good, but what if you have other DLCs activated? Does that interfere with you being able to get on the server?
Nope.
No?
Because when you load up, you don't pick what's activated. It sees what's at the server. Make sure that what you have mod folder is the same. But you have the same stuff in the mod folder. It's not like a single player game where you pick, activate. So you dump them in the mod folder. Connect. Missing something.
Oh, okay. Alright. That's easy enough.
I'm gonna run the rest of this line out. I'm gonna go do some planting.
I'm gonna finish the field and then show off my farm I built.
Oh, I gotta go line your field. That's
Master Builder says I did a decent job at it.
It's great, man. It's really nice.
I even threw some degradation.
It's really nice.
I tossed some rocks out.
Cool.
I just flung them out and seen where they landed on the earth.
Nice.
And then I just dartboarded some trees, see where they landed. Then I just flung some grass seed.
Nice.
Hey, Valdem, what's up?
Kind of fit it into the roads that were already here. Looks good.
Well, I took the original farm on my save and deleted the silage bunker and deleted the what was that stupid giant silo, and then I put some of my GSI bins there, 4 of the
I don't know,
single ones,
Gordon, which
top
way
and
you
bottom
plow
bins
what.
that can hold anything, and then I put me a
seems to do
nice
its job.
building there, fix that farm up a little bit, and then I made me another one down on field 11. Chopped out the corner of field 11 and put a couple of buildings and some silos and stuff down there. It'd be mostly a grass operation with the cows. Just for funsies.
Yeah, there's all kinds of room on this map. You
Well,
can really.
terraforming made a farm out of. Look at the mini map. Grass area just to the left of where the coordinates are.
Mm-hmm.
You like terraform that up some and this farm.
That's a good idea.
That's cool.
Yeah, I haven't decided where I'm going to settle yet.
I don't want to cut any fields in the hills myself because I'm allergic to maps that don't have MTA installed. So I'll stick with the fields that are already there because I can drive straight on them and don't notice it.
There's some new textures, John Deere.
Map angles, so you don't have to.
There's some new textures.
And then
some
I'm
new
going to do
trees.
the. I can't have custom crop textures or ground textures on the map either, which also sucks. So I'm going to be using subsoilers to plow because I don't want to look at those nasty game plow textures. They don't look anywhere close to realistic. So Giants did okay on their cultivated textures, so I can stomach that.
Yeah, I wanted a big cow farm, and that shed down here holds 200. What I wanted, but the way I could only rotate it one of 4 different angles. I couldn't place it anywhere up large farm, but I wanted to, that it wasn't like completely taking up all the space. And I was like, well, I could buy plot 4, stick it down on the field.
Mm-hmm.
Then I saw that there was this grass area right beside field 4 that was semi-flat. But let me see, it fit right there. I'm like, oh, that's perfect. So, the farmer could have built this big cow area down below his farm, land adjacent to where his other stuff is, up on a hill a little bit. A little bit removed because it's all big and places.
Yeah, that's a good premise. That'll work.
It turned out really nice. I like it.
I think I figured out a way I can put a second sleep trigger down for my personal use. I'm going to take the sleep trigger out of the placeable and then place it.
So glad when I'm done this.
Then go into my XML and edit it to change the type to, well, not the XML, but the XML that's in the save game, the items XML, then just change it from placeable to farmhouse for the type, and then I'll put the model back in that has the sleep trigger in it. That should work. I should be able to have two sleep triggers on the map, even though it's just me.
Well, the equipment,
Maybe.
fair bit of equipment. We did a
They're
2-hour
right now. You
rundown
can
the
only
other
place
night on
one
it.
sleep trigger. You can't do more than one.
If you go to the
Change
Giants
the
website
starting spot.
and
I
look
thought there
at
was
the
a mod that saved your position, and then the next time you load it in.
Yeah, there is. I don't know the name of it though.
there's
And Deere says it's a mod. I thought there was one.
saw it today when I was trying to decorative stuff. If you go to the website
'Cause I don't think I'm gonna
and
start
click on DLCs at
anywhere
the top,
near main farms.
and then find this DLC, you'll
Now, if
see
you
a
had
whole
multiple
list of the
sleep triggers,
equipment
then it would rotate
toward the
around.
bottom.
Yep. Okay, the snow on the ground looks a little weird here at the map end.
Hey, a little weird that map transition there on the border.
Yeah, they could have. I think they could have done a little better job blending it.
Good with seasons of the winter, but I kind of feel like they should have used different texture for the rest of the year or something.
But at least there's snow in the mountains, right?
Yeah, they have nice bright green grass, but they have dead
Let's see here,
hedges. That's kind of weird.
No way to fold this.
I think
Transport
the annoys me
mode.
about season is I still got green grass in the middle of winter.
Let's go check out the farm.
Yeah, that's map specific. Seasons does not change the textures of any of the foliage, unless, of course, you program your map to do that.
You as the map author are providing this.
Correct. That's right.
And the only thing, they provide textures for trees.
Yeah.
For the giants.
Mm-hmm. And that's it.
That's where you run into problems with non-giant textures for seasons and map author.
And even if you do put them in for non-giants or the older trees or whatever, you don't have the shader effect. The shaders that are made for the new trees gradually change the colors, whereas the old way was to just change them out according to season. Like, for example, summer will change to a different set of textures for autumn, which then changes to a different set for winter, and then a different set for spring. So the new way is definitely a lot better, but it only works with the giant trees.
So everything we're going to see here is what I did.
It's interesting to see in this map that there's even changing textures at all, other than trees. So to see the shrubbery change was kind of interesting. I wasn't expecting that.
Vega's old graphics.
Textures version, they honestly need to just
That's old.
put seasons in the base game from the get-go.
Mm-hmm. I see Giants used one of my techniques in the map for a lighted sign, and I thought that was pretty awesome. Glad to see him doing that. So they definitely watch the mappers. I see stuff in this map that I've seen in a lot of other mod maps over the years. So Giants is paying attention. That's good.
So with the updated animal pen extension pipes, you can milk, auto milk sales, reposition things with the keyboard.
Oh, cool.
Pretty sure you used to mouse. Mouse is now like
I've always hated moving
camera.
out with the mouse.
And I discovered earlier today you can change the color of the pipes. And also change the size of the pipe.
Oh, that's nice.
I mentioned to GTX about the size of the pipe. Like, if you have chickens, put water in the chickens, option. Odd. It looks weird because there's this little water trough. You have this massive, like, 4-inch, 6-inch pipe feeding this little trough. I'm like, scale that down for the chickens? But there's actually, he has an option in it. Pick different size pipes and put a little pipe in big area, all water area. So this is all, I put this all in. This was all grass. So everything that is up there, it's been basically changed out. I started up in Farm Manager and built this all out. So this is our big cow barn. Down here, got 2 haystacks right here, brown bale haystacks here by this roadside. And I wanted a big cow shed where I thought, kind of in the wintertime, they probably would have their cows mostly inside during the winter. And this is like the timbered farm pack or something.
And everything will have lime except for the grass fields because, well.
And then I put in ETX's fermenting silo over here.
You don't want to lime the grass field.
To make silage.
Fertilizer down here.
Over here I've got 2
like 400 horses
round straw bale storage stacks.
We're going to have a lot of planning to do the next couple of days.
Guess I could have done a better job of smoothing that in. kind of textured the grass around here, or the
Yeah, I agree.
gravel.
Deer.
Connected up to these
It's really
roads.
nice to see them actually put in fields of grass.
And then road up to the main farm.
Do the workers handle those grass fields okay?
I think that if you turn on a mower,
Hey, Wesley, what's up?
I don't know. I bet you it's going to be pretty weird. 'Cause they don't do round edges very well.
I think they would mow it. Grass says it. So this is a farmhouse that comes with the map, so I put that down. It's supposed to be over here. Moved it over there. Put this grass in. Toss these rocks in. Put a little chicken coop. Came with this pack over here. Got a sheep farm, sheep pen put in for the map. Holds 50 sheep. Get wool soon. Hay bales. Storage building over here for some equipment. And over here we have a pig farm. Pig area. I figured we'd have some pigs at some point. Hey, Lucas, what's up? Put 3 silos in here so we can store seed, lime, and fertilizer.
What mod is that
in
sheep
these.
farm? That little small one.
It came in that timbered pack.
Oh, the timber pack. Okay, that's nice. That's some good looking stuff. I like that.
Then big equipment shed. Came with the pack. Another one of those open sheds.
Them little silos there, are those magic silos that hold everything?
Oh, they don't hold everything. They hold grain.
Are those the ones I made?
No, they're in the mine.
Can they hold the same as mine, seed fertilizer? And okay.
They hold seed, fertilizer, lime. They hold crops too.
Okay.
They'll hold everything in one.
Ah, I see.
You
That's
can
what
get
it
'em-
is. Yeah,
You can get them in silo form. Silo form had the little blue dump blower. Blow it in. Or you could get them in silo extension form, where it's just a silo. And they come in 3 different sizes. Extension.
I think it's the biggest size is the one I used when I made mine for Midtown. I just used the GTX script and limited it to seeds, fertilizer, and
And
lime.
we've got our farm silo
But
here.
it's one at a time only. You got to empty it before you put anything else in
Or
it.
that whole pack. And then, this
I
is
used
all,
some of those in my save for this map also.
it's all just, background. This is all here, base map. And I didn't know what to do with this. So I just kind of threw some grass down, threw some trees down, and put some dirt in here. They're like, farmers come through and
I missed a little spot of
made
lime
some
over on
shortcuts.
5. Dang it.
Oops.
That's going to drive me crazy. I'll be back for it.
take my antenna around for a drive. Land Rover.
Ah, the Land Rover. That's cool looking.
Nice mod.
I watched Sealy P's video today where he talked about the Land Rover. Now, apparently, in 50s, maybe even 60s, this Spanish company called basically got a license from Land Rover to build these and sell these. They would buy them in kit form, Land Rover. They would build them and sell them as antennas. And then at some point they stopped buying the kits. They started making them on their own under license. So they look like a Land Rover, but technically mountain land.
A little confusing, but yeah.
Down here at the shop. Yes, it is.
That's me. Just got back and I'm looking whether.
Like, just standing there.
Must be a supervisor.
Yeah, just standing there like a statue.
Yeah.
Jacer's like, listen here, ladies, just get to work.
Hey, I did my part and then I had to run and walk the dog for a minute. Now I'm back. And so I was actually just looking as to, do we want to buy that electric tractor to put it to work? And I was literally just looking at the horsepower of that and whether it'll actually, I don't know what seeder you guys want to buy. I don't think that
blue power.
Yeah, I don't think it has enough power for the
Yeah,
seeder.
it can't run much stuff. It's pretty low powered.
Yeah. Well, even those other two tractors that were 150 horsepower also will not, unless it's a tiny seeder.
Check out my new ride.
Well, the one that comes in the pack has a power harrow on the front, so you don't even have to cultivate with it.
Decent amount of horsepower though, doesn't it? Like,
Yeah, it takes 165 because it has the power harrow.
Let's go fill
I
those.
think I kind of missed the mark on that.
silos.
Something a little lower power that the Rigitrac could use.
So this thing's interesting because we have a 3-point on the front and the rear, a hitch on the front,
It's only 3.6 meter.
or hitch on the rear, and we can move a
Rapid
3-point on the front, left and right.
Yeah, 180 horses.
Just get you a good cloth. That'll take care of it.
I keep forgetting we don't have other DLCs on this server.
Yeah,
We didn't. I didn't activate those because I wanted as
Yeah.
festival as possible. Yeah, oh, they're over.
go with the coon.
Yeah.
It only takes 100 horse. It's 4 meters. It's kind of small, but the fields aren't huge. So.
Right. So that's what I was thinking I might do.
Yeah, a couple of those with GPS you could probably get through them pretty fast.
Yeah.
Yeah, they only take 100 horse. The electric tractor will probably pull it. It'll just pull it slowly.
Yeah, it'd probably be fine, but I think most of the arable fields are on flat ground.
Yeah, and usually the horsepower doesn't mess with it too much.
Or we could. I mean, for the arable work, we could buy some normal tractor too.
I'm about done with this Rigitrac, so I mean, you could use it to pull one of the coons.
What's been going on lately? Well,
I just got a little bit more
Alpine
line
Farming
put
Expansion's come out. ATS of
Doesn't
Colorado's
matter.
come out.
Who wants to play?
SnowRunner's coming out.
All right.
Into
I
that.
can do that.
I do not play that, but my youngest
I think
does.
all the fields in the top section of
Or he wants
like
to.
fertilizer now. Not sure how they're coming online.
I haven't bought it for him.
I think the only thing we plant right now is wheat and barley. Everything else is too close.
You can do sunflowers and soybeans too.
Oh yeah, it just won't germinate. That's right.
Oh yeah. Forgot about the temperature.
We do potatoes.
I'm done.
Can't stand doing potatoes too often. If I'm doing root crops, it's usually sugar beet.
Oh. I see that happening.
See, and I like doing potatoes.
I see that happening.
It's bothering me so much that the harvester will help a little more.
Well, it holds what, 8K? I think.
I think so, yeah.
Hey, Anthony, what's
Yeah,
up?
that's plenty. That's plenty.
Not too bad if you run it like a forage harvester while you harvest.
It's single player, so I'm doing a lot of back and forth. It's not quite as bad as MP.
Yeah, when you're all you're doing is running the truck the whole time.
I plow my 2 fields. Like
Yeah,
plow
there's
up
a
the
crap
farm.
load of flour that needs to be done still.
Oh, I'll plow it. Don't worry. I
Oh,
gotta
it's not
fix
that
for
much.
it.
I mean, there's like maybe 4 or 5.
I gotta fix for it. Won't take me long at all.
Did think about putting that dairy milk cell point that came out placeable.
That little house.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was in the mod
I-
hub this morning.
Did think about putting that in here and putting it up in one of the off in the hills. But we commented about how we thought that was an opportunity.
Yeah, good idea.
Want to use the 150 and the plow I got down at the farm. Sell the plow. Got a 150 up. But we're gonna
Well, I
cut
can
through
plow
one of
for a
these.
minute.
We're gonna cut through one of these
I'm
grass
happy to do that.
But only for a minute.
dirt areas.
Yeah, only for a minute.
So we're kind of going more with the smaller equipment on this one.
I think he's just trying to use the DLC stuff first.
I like all the DLC stuff though, it's nice.
Once you get up in those mountains, start like throwing fertilizer and stuff. It's
Rough, man. I thought you was doing the job. Might need some more weight on the front. Might try to fertilize with this tractor. Aebi. Something TT.
So there's what, 3 Rigitracs, 1 electric, and then a 150.
Oh, that would be a very,
The other one's like 100 horse, I think.
that would be a pretty big build there for sure.
Got 2 of the 150s.
For the RAM, you want something with quick timings, like 3800 RAM. AMD loves fast RAM. The 5950 is 16 core, 32 thread beast. Just about any Intel chip
Yeah, all those
to
mountain fields and
machine.
fertilized. If you're brave enough.
Well, yeah. So I was thinking we'd probably take the cutting off of what's there, you know. Just, I mean, it won't be a primo, but
Take the 1 round of fur that it gives you.
yeah. And then just follow each one up. Basically, as you mow, go ahead and fertilize right away. Oh, I just barely got through that
If
too.
we start cutting it and selling to the BGA, we'll have plenty of free fertilizer.
The other thing is, you could just not fertilize it.
Trust me.
As
Trust
much
me.
grass as there is.
We've made 16,000 back. Pretty confident. We're not going to be short grass.
Yeah, I wouldn't even.
Plenty of grass, yeah.
I wouldn't even
Take a hit,
fertilize
you get a little less volume the first time, and you go with the 1-stage free fertilization you get.
it for the mountain field. There's a couple. There's like a proper field down here. There's a field 1 has grass, and then one of the fields over by the BGA is a flat field of grass. You can always do those multiple times. But yeah, I don't think there'd be any shortage of grass. Look, a train up in the mountains. Alright, taking the lime spreader back to the farm.
I've got 15,000 liters of seed. 1,000 all to it.
Buy all my fertilizer from the South Point at the railroad silo just it's closer.
Look at that tiny stream on that fertilizer silo.
Ain't that pitiful?
That's so pathetic. That looks like a garden hose.
Yeah, it's
That garden hose represents the speed of my downloads.
it's little, but it's got high volume. Got a lot of pressure.
I got my bike off whatever I cost if I'm still getting over COVID.
Still downloading server mods.
Well, the 6900
Must have some pretty
XT
bad
has not been
speed.
released yet.
Yeah, it sucks.
I think that's getting
Can't say
released
mine's
here.
great, but at least I'm not stuck with
in, maybe 2 weeks.
Big companies.
Now, speaking of, that's mine, Mediacom. Yay.
Yeah. I got a local place here. They're not the fastest, but they're pretty good on customer service.
Now, mine is customer what?
Oh, this is interesting.
Exactly.
The internet just goes down for no reason in the middle of a nice sunshiny day, and then there's no way to get a hold of anybody to even ask what's going on. You log on to the
It's
site.
not this always Mediacom anymore. I just shut the door in their face every time now.
Yeah.
You guys are lucky. Well, yeah, the fact that he has an alternative to Mediacom.
Yeah, most people don't, which sucks.
Yeah, I don't. The only other alternative I have is AT&T, and they're worse by a long shot.
My other
Yeah.
friends that I
Alright.
gave she's got freaking satellite net.
Go
That
this
stuff's
way.
terrible.
A little Aebi thing needs to. Oh wait,
You need to get somebody to get out and push.
completely can't go up there
That's worse than this Lindner
with
thing was
a
doing.
trailer load of fertilizer.
That thing just makes you think of like a golf cart or something.
Yeah, it's a four-wheel drive golf cart with dualies.
Got the torque. I mean, it's turning, but it don't have the grip.
Maybe your front weight would help it. Keep the front planted on the ground.
So we need a bunch of cultivators.
Yeah, there's a cultivator running right now.
Go get
I
away.
don't think I know how to set up this
Who's
plow.
running the cultivator?
Just use Jeep.
Well, yeah, and it.
Don't do the
I-
offset.
I can't go back and buy you new GPS mod now.
Yeah, I messed up by not using the offset, I guess.
Hit auto whip.
Yeah,
Did put the offset in,
I don't think it did.
and I saw. It must be a good thing. I saw the red line. And, oh, there's the offset. Then I
Okay.
just figured out which way worked with the rotation of.
Right.
I just have to remember to rotate. Offset flips.
Right.
Is anybody planning or no?
No, we don't own a planter yet that I'm aware of.
Do we want to
We're
use,
such a well-organized farm here.
the DLC one for a little while?
That uses.
Yeah, it's flat ground though. So yeah, the coon, I guess it is.
I think all you can plant right now, dear, is wheat, barley, and oat that'll germinate.
All
Get
right.
the Stara because we can direct plant. If we want to. If we don't want to cultivate the
Ow.
rest of the fields.
I hope we can pull up that. This thing only goes 26 miles an hour, but it's still low to the ground. You feel.
literally with one eye on my other screen.
Let's see. Let's see if we can do it.
I don't need my yellow weight, so I'm gonna leave it up here at the phone.
Getting used to that yellow. Dude, you should have seen how I was trying to pull this trailer up there. Hey, look! Oh, let's do it. Straighten out. I don't think we have the umps full line. Try.
I think I can.
Well, I was turning.
Get another tractor behind you and push.
That electric tractor, it's got torque. 68 horsepower, but it's like all torque.
It's like these little Rigitracs do too. It's only 150 horse, but I mean, it pulled that lime spreader up the hills pretty well.
I think it's pure.
Yeah, it's built for the mountains.
Yeah, they're made specifically for this kind of farming, aren't they?
Oh, I was thinking I was right. That's why, like, they have same size tires front. Four-wheel steer. Not the big tire, it's kind of thin tire. Hey, a lady beach surfer, what's you up? What's up with you? Alright, there we go.
They used for some of the
Oh,
roads in between the fields.
glad you're in a good mood today. Whoa, watch out. Alright, let's go get some lime and see what kind of troubles we have coming up the hill.
Somebody disconnected.
They're at the back.
Oh shoot. Run. Way. Alright, well let's just ride around the mountains.
Let's return to that railroad silo.
Drive up into the hills. The wrong
My
road.
internet is so slow.
Downloaded like 300 meg.
They like half downloaded. At least they're downloading. It's better than some folks, I guess.
Oh, let's
Me.
oh, this would be an interesting.
That's dial-up speed.
Whoa, that would be a hill to mow. That's easy.
I mean, this is the 21st century. Nobody should have dial-up.
Yeah, I have it out with them on the phone. This week.
Everybody should have fiber internet.
I know, right?
They told me if you don't like our service, you can take your business elsewhere. I'm like, I can't take my business elsewhere because there's nobody else that provides damn service.
Or a monopoly. Oh wait, I can't because we have a franchise group down. You have a government allowed monopoly. Then you run for town council. We're not renewing your franchise agreement. Then you do that. Then they start quaking in their boots, see themselves, they comply.
Yep.
See, none of the companies would offer service, so that's why our utility company had to do it, and then they had to to get legislature passed in the state of Tennessee that the utility company could provide internet, because Comcast and all the other ones had these laws where utility companies couldn't do it.
Right. They wanted to lock it in from themselves.
Yep, utility company had to prove need.
So that's where you basically, as a official town, you basically say, well, we'll provide you certain tax provide service to a citizen. Assure you that you are a leading candidate to provide internet service. Official town buildings and streets. County. You play that corruption game. I mean, that's how new power happens.
Yep.
Our utility company.
What's up, Jamberry? Oh yeah, there's tons of, internet to the last mile internet. Fill out your network. There isn't any grant money to further improve it. We got somebody at work in the HR office. He has the worst internet in the world. Worse than half meg down, less than a half meg up.
That sucks.
And, she works in HR, been remote for like 6 months, and she's got a laptop that we can't manage it remote. And we're trying to help her, trying to put a phone at her house so it works on enterprise extension. Need you to run the speed test. Not very wants to. So she finally gives me a speed test. Look at it. How do you even work at home at this? This is late. So we're talking. Do we need to set up a minimum standard of? If you don't have internet at this speed, you can't effectively be a remote worker. It would just take too long to do anything productive. Then we find out that she's getting the same internet I get next week. Oh, goody! I'll have a welcome package for you. We can now have you properly secured at home. Oh. Got hit by a train. So the gates come down a little bit late.
I told
Yeah.
you those gates are speedy.
Now.
So
That's funny.
I'm just going 26 miles an hour. I see the lights flash. I'm like, oh crap. So I hit the brakes. I got this load of line behind me, which isn't helping. And I managed to stop the trailer before the train, but I stopped right on the train.
Yep, in between both sets of gates.
Yep. So
You were all
Why'd you manage
sandwiched.
to save that trailer?
So I
He was sandwiched up, ready for the train.
I disconnect the trailer super fast. Alright, you know we make it?
I don't think this captain did too well here.
Oh, I can pull the hill with this load of line. That front weight.
Yeah, I was thinking the front weight would help keep the front on the ground, where you get all 4 of your wheels pulling instead of just 2.
Yeah, because the front lifted up. Because the rear's got so much torque, it lifted the front up.
Looks like you petered out a little there.
Plant wheat and forward.
Our biggest problem around here is we got people that live in semi-populated, and we got people that live in more rural areas where, like, their only internet is hotspot or the data off their phone.
Or the neighbor's Wi-Fi.
Or they don't even have cell service at their house. Drive 2 miles to get to some place where they get cell service. And then they come to us and they're like, our students come to us, well, we need you to provide me a hotspot. Where you live? No. But I don't have anything magic. Presto makes you have internet.
Gotta have some kind of signal.
I sent an email to that Starlink. Just to see if their service comes very level.
You still can't get cell phone signal hardly.
Low latency satellite.
What I want is 5G in my area, then I can just get me a 5G hotspot and ditch Mediacom for good. Problem is that when I do get this 5G hotspot, they'll have me capped on data to maybe 25 gig or some stupid amount like that, and it won't be worth it.
Yeah, mine's capped at 15 Verizon for my 4G.
So,
Even if you get a hotspot, it's capped at 15. It's like pay specifically for a hotspot. It's stupid.
Mm-hmm.
here's the service. We're gonna penalize you. So Dexdad, saying in his runner B, that he noticed if he uploads a 15-20 minute video, he can upload in 15 to 20 minutes. Now, the time of the video is how long it takes. If he uploads a 30-minute video, 5-minute video, it takes like 3 hours.
That's because they're capping him after the first so many gig.
Yeah, after the first
They're
so
throttling
much
them.
data, he's getting throttled for the rest. So he's like, you know, video length is almost governed by his ISP's throttling policy. It takes him hardly no time at all to upload a 20-minute video. 30 minutes, like now.
And then what they're doing now in some areas, some ISPs are actually throttling you if you go to their competitors' websites and stuff. So if you go to stuff that's sponsored by the ISP or who has a handshake with the ISP or they're in bed with the ISP somehow, then you get faster speeds.
Yep.
That is so wrong, but yet what are you going to do, you know?
Well, a lady beach surfer, I don't try to wreck.
These cable companies are going to be in trouble.
It's not like I try to run into things.
Low latency satellite. Just the first step into some new stuff.
No, what we need to do, I just need to
All
get really, really rich, like
That's all I wanted
trillionaire
to get
rich. And then I need to distribute a satellite phone free to everyone in the world. And as long as they sign up with my service, then they can keep the phone. It'll be a low $10 a month, and they'll have unlimited data and unlimited speed up to the capacity of the system worldwide.
So Apple,
All right, let's go.
you laugh.
Go fertilize.
Is, I think their plan, their long-term plan is when you buy a phone, you don't have a service provider. Apple, like, so you spend your, and I'm sure by then it'll be like $2,000 for an Apple phone, but you never have to pay for service. It's included. And
Yeah.
Apple provides it. They're putting satellites up there too.
Wow.
Yeah, and then Apple
build
has
an
all
Apple
your
network.
data. It would never do anything wrong with it.
Oh no.
Yeah.
But I mean, Google, once Apple does it, Google will do the same. I mean, they all.
I had to fertilize.
Someday my download will be complete.
Yeah, Starlink, January.
John joined the server. There he is.
Somebody else joined the server, John.
E. I think we need to get him.
Cultivator. You can start running the cultivator on these harvested fields. So I think Tukey's putting down fur, right? Chaser's plowing.
I got another
Here.
Queen's Thunder
John,
Big on that
John.
little thing.
Truck. You-
And I'm
Good job.
downloading.
That's
I
tomorrow.
plant wheat.
Tomorrow you'll
Our first field of wheat here in Fuller.
Yeah, there's always tomorrow. There used to be a song about that, I think.
Or
Tomorrow. Tomorrow.
watch out. There's
I
copyright.
love ya.
Copyright.
Tomorrow.
Copyright. Watch
Whoops.
out.
Oh dear. Whoops.
Shut your mouth.
I've had my past 2 weeks off.
Dave and Buster's tomorrow.
Ooh, Dave and Buster's. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm taking my son.
We're fine until I.
Oops. There goes the back.
We'll get 1,000.
Like you're popping a wheelie there.
Yep, time to get 1,000 weight.
Too bad you don't have store deliveries. Mod.
Oh, I didn't.
That mod is quite handy.
Danbury, get on the server. We're not full.
I'm sitting here going, why is my turning angle so big? And then I'm like, oh, well, I didn't have four-wheel steering on. I like how these little Rigas, they got crab steering too, although I never use it because it looks really weird. I guess from a compaction standpoint.
Rigitrac in black looks. All right, let's see if this thing can hold the weight now. Yeah, until Sony lets you do crossplay, kind of stuck. I kind of like driving this little thing. Driving like a little go-kart.
That's how I feel about the electric tractor. It's fun.
I think a lot of this stuff would be fun with silage blade on it or snow blade.
Oh, it's
Just zipping around.
boy, it's still light in the.
I can tell
Right
you
in
when
the
it
front.
snows, there's no snow on the roads.
That's because the street department keeps it clean quickly.
Oh, this is so awful light in the front.
Should have went with a 1500 in the front.
1,000 in the front.
Step up another one.
Eventually, we'll rip the scooter's workbench.
Hey, what's going on?
Eventually, we'll rip the front hitch off.
Listen, we're all trying to figure out what I am, and I started thinking about where would I go find information?
I gotta
So,
turn you up. Quiet, scooter.
can't hear me? Hold on, that might be me.
A little low, yeah.
Speak softly and carry a big tractor.
Well, he makes little tractors.
Mm.
He makes all those cool things.
He makes all of that old iron. Or converts it all. Gets it working again.
Cleans it up.
Is that better? Can you hear me better?
Nice. I like the old iron stuff.
So I felt bad for you, Will. I bought, downloaded, installed the DLC and all of the mods in about 9.5 minutes.
I don't want to hear it.
Okay, it's a. What's your handle? Gig?
I have 300 meg.
What's your upload?
27 or 30, something like that.
Well, see the thing that stings about mine is supposed to be a 100 meg down, 15 up, but
Yeah, trying to get him to honor the plan, right?
yeah, they've informed me that they don't guarantee anything, and yeah. In fact, they've also advised me that they're not really obligated to even give me a discount when the internet's been off for 2 days straight. Although, as a general rule, they will take something off of the bill for that. So, yeah, they suck.
I'm surprised the next thing we're not really even obligated to give you service. You are obligated to pay us money.
Yeah, I said, well, I'm not obligated to pay you then.
Oh no, that is your obligation. We're not obligated.
Well, fortunately, I'm not in a contract. That's the good thing. If I was in a contract, that'd be even worse. I've managed to avoid the contract so far.
1,500 makes.
1,500 is probably going to be your sweet spot.
Bet you if I disconnect the spreader though.
Yeah, you'll do a nosedive.
Let's see what happens.
Still pulling that front up a little bit. You could go to a 2,300.
That's looking a little better now.
Is quality on it?
I pay is it $90 a month for my junk?
Just need.
For dial-up.
Yeah, it sucks.
What do you need? What do you want to do,
Oh,
Scooter?
dial up.
What do you guys want me to do?
Who's coming in now?
There's a plow in the field, Scooter. I think Dairy Deer left a plow in one of the fields.
Emberry's
attached
coming
to a
in.
tractor.
There's incoming
Plenty of
spam.
stuff to pick from.
Is there a tractor?
Yeah, it's already attached to the tractor there.
Which field?
13. I think it's sitting in the middle of 13.
Go find it.
Not drivers. Yachtman. Nope, this isn't fertilized. Him. What do we got in here? 1, 2, 3, 7. We got room for 3 more. We got room for 3.
So we
Go with
need fert on 5.
word on that. What's the question?
So you grab another cultivator. Although I'm gonna jump off here at 15.
This thing has great visibility. This thing has awesome visibility. Got decent 4-wheel steer. Got everything you need. I could get this in like a 300 horsepower variant. Put up to go like 70 miles an hour.
Yeah, that tractor mod that was linked in the Discord a while back that's got like a 300 horse upgrade on it.
Is there magic to get the tractor to go?
Hit control space.
Yeah.
Or Alt X if someone had GPS locked in. Brian and Matt's Gaming, hey, what's up? Saw your chat.
Yeah, somebody had the GPS locked in. Should be working now. Screw.
Cool.
Multiplayer
There
thing.
we go.
Moosey Gaming, I have not thought about playing Gold
How you
Rush.
doing, man?
Good. Oh, I don't like this 4-way steer. Keep my foot on the wheel.
Yeah, you can hit, I think you can hit Control Y and it'll turn it on.
There we go.
Makes it a little responsive, doesn't it?
Yeah. Especially on a keyboard.
This thing with the ability to shift the front 3. Well, I guess if you had a front weight, that would make sense. Like you were working on a hillside, slide the front weight uphill.
Yeah.
We were showing this off. Somebody in stream was saying they were having a hard time figuring out why that would be a working on a hillside. Had a front weight on it. Being able to shift the weight
Yeah,
it was
help with
uphill.
the weight distribution.
would be nice. I was thinking like if you had like a mower, you were working on a hill, applied it so it was uphill. Mower was further uphill than the tractors. The tractor could go downhill. Just naturally when you're uphill, you kind of slide down or angle.
Does anybody need fuel?
I will.
I'm gonna grab the fuel bowser, hook it up to the fake Land Rover.
Oh, Lady Beach server. Need to. Don't worry about things. Things are what they are. See what else we got going on here.
A lot of people working.
Go
Hey,
ahead
we
and
got a pretty good
fertilize.
crowd tonight.
Go ahead and fertilize 20.
Hopefully server stays active for a while with this map.
While I'm over here.
Usually, what is it? Usually they're active for a little bit. Then once the newness wears off, people start fading away.
Yeah.
Yep.
3 weeks. 4 weeks. Mentions.
Yeah, Midtown lasted about a month, maybe, if that.
Yeah, I kind of just got burned out on that after a while. The fields are so big.
I love Midtown. I thought that was fantastic.
Well, West Coast will be a little bit smaller.
Really looking
Just a
forward to
little
the
bit.
West Coast.
Yeah, I've
I
got
don't know
a.
what Giants was thinking when they made Ravenport in the first place, but I know your version will be great.
It's a really
I
nice
got
map.
one final update for testing, and then after that, it'll probably be released. I found a couple of little things.
If you like Ravenport already, just a little, you'll really like it. Just tell them, Klein. One thing I would give Giants is on all 3 of their maps, their terrain changes. I think they did a really good job with that.
Terrain is really nice. That's one thing I really did like about the Ravenport map.
I'm not really concerned about this. We're
Didn't like
playing
some
it
of the
under.
other things about it.
Yeah. I really enjoyed the way they incorporated the roads, and it felt realistic.
So we're going to be cultivating this under anyway.
The very first thing I did to it when I started editing it was I made the yellow stripes the correct color on there, because that white road, that is not American.
Now, there's some, like the road going over the bridge. Stripes. That off on.
Some of those were that way already, and the others had to take the stripe off because there was no way to change the color of it. If I had changed it to yellow, it made all the stripes on all those sections yellow everywhere, which looked even worse. So
See, that's
it
withered
was better
anyway.
just to take the stripe off. So I kind of had to balance, what was better looking over what I wanted to do.
So basically, you married the map.
Something like that, yeah.
We all went East Coast. East Coast was going to be a grand thing in 7.
Yeah, the one thing I noticed when I went back and looked at that, I realized that my East Coast dam was looking an awful lot like Midtown.
East Coast is like vaporwave.
So I wanted to redo it. So that's one thing I did this time. I completely did it as a totally different dam now. So it's going to be smaller, tighter, hilly fields. Not super hilly, not Midtown hilly, but just like rolling hills hilly. So I've got it in GE. I've got the dam already done, and I've got the road part way finished. But I'm having to piecemeal the road section by section because it just there's no other way to really do it for me because I don't know how to do Blender.
And tan it. Got a quart.
I stopped off at the gas station as I was driving by it.
I imagine I'll have East Coast pretty far along by December. By the end of December, I might even be able to release in early January if I keep on my schedule.
Do you ever take a break from making maps?
No, not really.
I didn't think so.
The game is too boring for me. I mean, I love farming, but when I get into it, it's just wash, rinse, and repeat, even with all the mods that I have. So I invariably go back to making maps again.
Well, and the problem is if the mod doesn't work the exact way you want it, you're like, oh, I can fix that.
Exactly.
You
Yeah.
just spend all your time modding.
Yeah, back in the day, I used to, any map I played, I ended up spending 3 or 4 weeks editing the darn thing, and then a new one would come along, and I'd get in, oh, this is cool. Oh, wait, I got to change all this stuff, and I edit that one for 3 or 4 weeks. And I got tired of doing that, so I told myself I'm not going to edit any map unless it's going to be one of mine that I'm going to release. If I'm not going to release it, don't edit it. Either that or play a DLC map where I can't edit it. And even with this map that I'm doing now, you know, playing my save on the Alpine map here, I'm editing and fixing placeables so that I can make them fit where I want them to be.
What do you need done in Blender?
Hey, you can't do much with the DLC stuff because it's encrypted, right?
Yeah. What I want to do and what I really need in Blender right now is I need a distance terrain mesh made for my East Coast layout. But a friend of mine, Kim, in the Discord did the one for Midtown for me. And he had a method of doing it where he could just give him a dim and then he could convert that to a mesh. And so I said, well, he was doing it for like, you know, satellite photos and stuff like that. I don't need all that. I just want a custom dim made, or a mesh rather. So what I did is I dropped my Midtown dim into my 16x starter map and then painted the terrain around the outer edges of it the way I wanted it to look. So where it would line up with my terrain I already had in Midtown. Sent that dim over to him and then he made the mesh for me and then cut the 4x hole out of the center of it. So that all I had to do was just drop it in the map and it lined up perfectly with my existing terrain. And then I can texture that. So I need something similar done for East Coast. But since it's a default size map, it'll be a lot smaller. It don't have to be very big.
I don't know why all of a sudden I want, instead of a fuel trailer, like a little food truck.
A food truck.
Drive around each little
Taco truck.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Taco truck.
Yeah, a little chocolate truck. Chocolate
well,
cheese.
yeah. So you need to take the taco place of Bono.
Oh no.
And slap it on a and that service van truck.
No, well, why don't you put it on the what's the Unitrac Unimog thing
there's
that we've got in this game?
You want some Blender work? There you go.
Yeah, and then you can, you know, I mean,
hack
you
and
can
slash make a taco truck.
Yeah.
And it could be anything you want. You could make it just like a refreshment stand truck that sells tacos and hot dogs and burgers and of course, you know, candy bars. Lots of chocolate candy bars.
Lots of chocolate and cheese. I mean, you gotta sell cheese.
Chocolate
Absolutely.
Cheese and crackers. Probably put some brats on there.
Like some wine and cheese.
If we could get that little meat packing mod, if you could do a little meat packing mod for this, then you could deliver some cattle and some pigs, and then it could put out brats, and then you could sell that along with the cheese and the chocolate.
Land Rover's nice, but man, it steers like really quick.
The meat processing would be easy enough to do with GTX's scripts, I think. I think I'm going to make a potato washer out of GTX's stuff for East Coast, because my original East Coast had a potato washer in it. And you could sell the washed potatoes for twice the price.
Right.
So I'm going to do the same thing, I think, in East Coast. And I was kind of thinking about maybe a pallet thing as well, you know, where you could make board pallets. Because I had that in the sawmill.
It reminds me of all the stuff on Slovak Village when that was the MV map.
Oh, yeah.
Is somebody volunteering to take charge of this server?
Farm ball.
I want to be a farm boss.
Silence.
After time on a multiplayer, I don't think.
I'm assuming you have to, you know, have mods in order to be able to do that.
Well, I'll just make a little to-do list for now.
Farm boss is track of what's going on and what needs to be done.
Yeah, a lot of people they don't like to make, but they just like to jump on and do tasks.
Keeping
Well,
track.
I'd like to do it, but I can't make the
There are mods
the commitment.
There are mod requests to keep track of all the mod requests. I like to kind of batch mod ads, opposed to just time you join, all of a sudden there's a new mod to add in.
I like that you do it that way, so
Like to
you're
do
not
the-
constantly having to download 1 or 2 mods here.
Let's
and
add
there.
a new mod once. You know, it'll be mod day.
Save your requests up for a whole week, and then once a week have mod day.
Yeah, let's add mods on, let's say, Sunday. Have anything new? Wait until the next mod drop. Mod drop in. Freshman week. Just frustrating. Oh, do I have to download something new? I feel like every time you go to connect, you can't. But I don't have.
1 more field to fertilize, I think.
Reminds me of the new Microsoft Flight Simulator. Every time I log on to fly, I got to download a new mandatory update and wait an hour before I can get in and play.
Yeah, that would be awful.
It sucks. It's happened to me 3 times in a row in the last 2 weeks, so I'm like, forget it. I'll just not worry about it.
It's like every time you go to test somebody's map, he's
Yeah.
oh, by the way, it requires a new save.
I think
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
possible to get a joystick so I can play Flight Simulator.
Well, I have a joystick already, but it don't work with the game very well. It works perfectly with everything else, and then when I get in the game, the plane bounces all over the place and tries to pull left and go off into the weeds when I'm taking off. And
A
it's
little
like, what in
dark
the
to be
world?
jogging, isn't it, DV?
I may not comply with you.
Yeah, exactly. I said, I know. I said, I've flown in real life before. It ain't nothing like this. I mean, come on now, right? I know there's turbulence and there's, things like that, but this is ridiculous. Expensive as the game is, you'd think it'd work better than that. Anyway.
Patchy.
Yeah, I guess. That's good. That'd be like Farm Sim coming out with a new patch every single week. And every other week, all your maps have to be redone in order to work with it.
Yeah.
It's bad enough when they have a new game version every 2 years and you got to unlearn everything you learned before and relearn it all again and redo everything because nothing works.
Feathers, I'm off to bed.
All right. Have a
a
nice
good-
one there.
Have a good
See
night.
ya.
It's fun. It's good talk
Things
with all
moving
of you.
forward.
Night Res.
Hey guys, take care.
They'll be doing things FS15 way.
Well, yeah, I love what they've done with the game. That's why when people get on to the chats and they get on to the forums and they get on, they complain, it's nothing but a DLC for the previous game. All they did was warmed it over and spit it back out. I'm like, you guys have absolutely no clue. Because with myself, I have to get under the hood to work on things. They completely redid everything.
Oh, that
with every
was a
version.
lag spot.
I think
So
they're
what
pretty
happened
good
there?
about rolling in the most popular mods every year slowly.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
That was
It's come a
Absolutely.
long
That was
way since
crazy.
I started playing with 13.
Yep. I remember back in 13, dirt was a mod thing.
This
If
thing
your vehicles
is
got dirty, and it was a
cool.
special way of changing the textures where it slowly blended the clean into the dirty. Giant's Way is a much better way of doing
The
it,
mod
but
first came out too.
yeah. And see, they were thinking about forestry back in 2011, but people that complain about the game don't realize that. In 2013, we had a mod by some modders called Forst, Forst mod. And it was real laggy. Oh man, it lagged the game bad when you planted trees. But I think that the 2015 forestry, when they put that in the game, that was so much better.
Chip to the ground either. That was a big change adding that in too.
But you're gonna have complainers no matter what.
Hey, I can't make everyone happy no matter what you do.
That's true.
So here's the little electric tractor. All right, turn
I
it
work
on.
at
Can you hear it?
grocery store, so I'm stuck dealing with people all day, every day.
Here we go. electric tractor. We're at 26 in 2 seconds.
Yeah, it's fast. Reminds me of driving a good old golf cart.
Since I put in more fuel usage, I want to see if it drains the battery fast.
I noticed it has a little fan noise, like a little whirring sound when you first turn it on, even if it's just sitting there. And I got to thinking maybe it's got a fan in there somewhere that maybe cools the hydraulic pump or something. Because I know that the electric motors don't actually start turning until you're moving the tractor, so there shouldn't be anything running on it.
Yeah, or maybe it's the pump itself.
Maybe, yeah, could be. Because it would have to have a hydraulic pump of some sort in order to provide the hydraulic fluid for the lines for the equipment you're hooking up to it.
So when I
tried looking it up on their website last night, there's hardly anything in English on that.
When I did the fact sheet on it, able to get got 5 electric motors, 1 that drives each wheel, and the 5th one that drives the and then the hydraulics also.
Yeah.
They asked how long does it last on a charge, and marketing information basically says, well, it depends on what you're doing on the field work. Up to 5 hours or so. Get out there in the morning and hope it lasts until.
So it would be interesting to see did you see the solar mod or whatever that came out?
Yeah, I saw that thing. I was wondering what in the world that's all about.
Well, I wonder if it works with that tractor.
Maybe. I think in real life what would be really cool for an electric tractor like that one would be to have the battery packs modular for it, where I could flip a couple of latches and turn a lever or something and slide the battery pack out of it with quick disconnects on the other end of it. And then you could have a battery pack on the charger and have a battery pack in the tractor. That way, if you're working in the field, you could just bring a fresh pack with you and just swap them out.
Yeah.
How about incorporating the battery pack into the weight?
That'd be an idea.
Swap them out kind of quick.
Yeah, you could. Sure enough.
Maybe a couple
Anything
of
like that. Just some way to where you could swap batteries really fast, and that'd be no different than having to bring a fuel truck out there and fuel your tractor up in the field. At least you wouldn't have to take it, carry it back home and charge it all night, to get it to use it again.
Well, that's an interesting question. So what do you do with this one if you run it out of power out in the field?
Oops.
I mean, like in game, because there isn't a charging station down at the.
Well, what I would do is I would make me a truck mod, and I would put the charging station on the back of the truck and make it simulate realism, like have a generator, that you can hear running. And when I turn the charger on, it'll sound like a little generator, kind of like I did on my West Coast with the guy's lights at night. He has a little home generator, like a little 5,000 watt generator sitting over there that runs at night.
Right.
So have one of those on the back of the truck, hear it fire up and run. And then as long as the generator is running, the charging station is working, and you can charge the tractor up.
Oh,
you
here we are,
edited
end of the
GTX's
road.
power washer to be a battery charger.
You could, yeah, exactly. Because this power washer has a nice engine sound and everything on it already. And the solar thing would be a lot slower, of course, but you could just have like a solar panel that, as long as it's got sunlight on it, that it would be, in theory, charging.
Yeah, that very question was posed either posed in a question on a chat, on a comment, or it was a question Discord in the ambassador channel. Basically asked that same question of what happens if you run out of charge and
What'd Giants say about it?
Tow bar.
No comment.
there was no comment.
Yeah.
Because, you know, in game there's the build trailer. Oh, I think it was a video comment. Because I replied back, thought that might work, like right now in game, if you run out of fuel, simply reload the game.
Mhm.
It will put a little bit of fuel back in the tractor,
Put that 10% back in it or whatever.
and then basically you have enough to go get fuel. So I thought, well, maybe the same principle applies to charge. I'm sure the underlying concept of the electric tractor is that instead of fuel, it's energy. Method,
Mhm.
consumption, filling.
Right.
That you restart the game and you have the electric tractor that's empty, drained. Maybe it has some charge in it. Load.
Yeah, we'll have to test that and see.
Does Giants publish that anywhere? Like, because with the DLC, right, I can't rip open the tractor and go, oh, okay, now I know how to make a replacement for this.
From what GTX said, that you asked probably relates to it. Correct fashion. Basically, if you're a modder and you go approach them about, hey, I want to make a mobile charging trip, but I need some background information on build type or trigger settings or whatever for the tractor, can you give me that background information so I can try to make this thing? The Giants typically issue with providing you such do that versus someone just going and brute force ripping it out. Encryption.
Right.
Well, I've heard from somebody that supposedly had that ability that even if you rip something out of the DLC like that, the GE is designed to where it just shuts down when you try to open it. You can't edit it anyway, so that was interesting to hear. That's a nice corner of the map. They got white grass and then green everywhere else. Yeah, interesting. Well, snow back there behind you.
Oh, well, that's distance.
See, the way I do my distance in my maps is I set it to come on when there's snow on the ground. It uses a snow admirer in seasons. So if there's no snow, there's no white.
Yeah, I don't know. It wasn't
That's why
like
I'm wondering
this.
how they did theirs, why they did theirs that way, because it's kind of broken.
It wasn't like this when I loaded the map up. At the and when I jumped in earlier this evening, like
That's
I don't
kind of
know if-
weird.
no, because spring.
So this should be
or-
everywhere then, instead of just there on the distance scenery. It's crazy
What?
looking.
Yeah, I hadn't driven up around.
It's real pretty though. I like the
Bridge was pretty cool.
yeah, the bridge is nice. Well, they go under it with the dirt trails and stuff. Kind of like that little thing I did on Midtown where you can go to the forest. But this is a lot bigger and a little more expensive. Okay, well, I guess I got to make East Coast all grass. That'll be easier to do. I could get the map released quicker. Could make it a no man's land. Just put a couple of buildings on it. So here you go, East Coast.
Yeah, that's no man's land concept. Far away.
Yeah. Actually, it was Raz that gave me the idea for South Island Farm long before the no man's land was even a thing. He mentioned how it would be kind of cool if he had like a no man's thing that didn't have a bunch of trees everywhere. And then I thought, you know what, that'd be kind of cool to do it on an island. And he's like, yeah, that'd be really cool. You got to do that. And I said, okay, maybe I will. So I got to give Raz credit for that.
Climbing up in the mountains.
I'm surprised there's not more no man's lands out yet. There's different terrain that are build your own.
Yeah. Well, see, in the beginning, when me and Raz were talking about that, it's like everybody was doing a forestry map where they didn't do anything except put trees everywhere, put a little cell point, and that's it. So it was kind of a no man's concept, except you had to, cut all the trees down first before you could do anything, which is a nice concept. We saw that in 2017. A guy did that. It was like a hard-working map or something like that. I forget the name of it now, but it was like that, where it was a lot of trees, a lot of rocks. You just buy the land and clear it and make your own fields.
Reaches.
That whole terrain is really good. I'd love to be able to edit this map. Maybe like have some fun with this.
Oh, this will be a... Next game, this will be editable. Tons of,
Knockoffs.
edits, right?
Yeah.
And then Will do an edit. Then we'll be live stream. Every other comment will be looks like.
This looks like this one, or this
Blah,
looks like
blah, blah.
Erlengrat or whatever.
Yes, it does. No one's trying to hide that it.
Yeah, exactly.
Why did you point this out? Like, this is the house from Lone Oak. Correct.
It's like, how dare you steal somebody else's thunder? I didn't steal anybody's thunder. I got permission, buddy.
Yeah, correct. It is the house.
I was told way back before I even finished Emerald Coast. He messaged me directly. Said, if you want to, you can use my house. I said, oh, sure. I don't think I'll use it on Emerald Coast because I've already done with the map. But yeah, thank you for the offer. I'll use it in another map. And so I did.
Ever a turn that needed like some giant warning sign? I'm about to do a 180, like right now.
I hope there's a collision on that railing.
There's not in real life.
Yeah, as Raz said, their terrain.
Terrain is really good. They do an awesome job on that. And it saves me a lot of time having to work on a map like this because the terrain is already there. I don't have to fool with any of that. All I have to do is clean it up a little bit and tweak it here and there. And then make the changes where it counts, like with the cell points and stuff. But on this map, they have a beautiful town. It's really nice. For example, I'd put a production in the cheese factory and animate some stuff in there, and then do a production maybe for the chocolate, and then maybe a milk production, and have a grain dryer somewhere. But I think the main focus of the map was intended to be grass, so focus on that more. Have some fermenting silos and things like that in here.
Yeah. And I figured early on it was going to be a lot of dairy focus because I kept talking about cheese and chocolate play.
Yeah.
Not going to be some grain. Some milk.
Right.
Made for milk.
And I'll do a couple of nice farms. Build out a couple of nice farms in the hills and everything. Of course, make everything sellable because nobody likes my farms. They always want to sell everything. But have them where you can sell all the buildings off.
Part of the freedom of the game.
Yep. Well, I like the concept the way I do it better, simply because you may not want to get everything off the farm. Maybe you only hate that old white barn. Maybe you only don't like that ugly house, but you want to keep everything else. So that way, just sell the house, just sell the barn, and then keep the rest. And then
maybe you're left-handed in orientation.
Right. Just change it around a little bit. Keep this, get rid of that. Or maybe you're one of those people that's come in there and just clean slate everything. One guy complained in a thread, well, how come you have all that equipment? That's too much equipment. I'm like, the equipment start on hard mode. The modes are all the same. It's just one has equipment and the rest of them have money. That's nice. I like that.
Sell it and zero your money out.
Yep.
That's what I do usually now on new save with the game extension mod. It's so easy to change all that stuff now.
That's one reason I started doing the farms the way I'm doing them now. When I did Emerald Coast the first time, I didn't do it that way. I made it to where on the hard modes there were no buildings. And then everybody was always starting it on hard mode because they didn't want all the equipment. They didn't get any of the hard work I did setting the farms up. So I said, well, that's not really that realistic anyway in real life. If I move into an area, the farms have been there for 50 years or whatever, so they're there. You know, you buy the land, and then if you don't want the buildings, you tear them down and change them. So
I love
well, that's
that
a nice
concept.
view there of the valley. Look at that.
Or like on the servers, you try to do a brand new save on the server, your only options are
Right.
so if on Farm Manager there's no
Buildings or anything.
buildings. So that's one reason why I built this farm server save is I was gonna have to upload a save anyway. And I thought if I want to do a big cow farm for a server that's going to have up to 10 people, I need to have something that's substantial to work on. I thought, well, if I did like a big farm that had cows, pigs, sheep, and chickens, a lot of cows, bought all the land, need a decent amount of land to run a bunch of pigs, amount of grass to do a lot of cows, a lot of milk to sell for the chocolate people. Kind of playing toward the hand given do. I can't do that with a cow area that only holds 50.
Mm-hmm.
Well, got to do that. And so that's what started my looking around for map pack and buildings that all kind of fit together.
Yeah, the timber pack looks good. It looks good in here. Need a little hang glider mod so you can jump off of that ledge there and fly.
Oh, the drone?
Yeah, that'd be fun. But something that's not got a motor on it, just where you just float and it gradually makes you go down. See how long you can stay up. That'd be kind of fun. I was just thinking like a regular old hang glider where you actually have to put a little bit of effort into it. But we don't have any thermals on the map, so that'd be kind of a moot point.
Crash and burn.
Yep.
Yeah, but like I closed out my map video that if anything, the giant map's wonderful asset resource for later.
Yep.
Road, these bridges, buildings, fit into any concept.
And they're also a nice guide for modders that want to make their own assets because they can see how not to do it. If the typical building, you know, that's got 900 textures and, you know, 500,000 polygons in it, you know, that is not how you make a nice building, you know. Giants always does it, or at least they used to do it, where each building would have just one texture for the whole building. And everything was all mapped there. I don't really like what they did with the texture array thing, but I mean, that's probably fine for a map, but then when you want to do an individual building and you got a 48 megabyte texture that's got to load with it, that's kind of a waste. But they do have that little thing they released now. It's like a extractor, I guess, where you can pull the textures you need out for your building. But the giant stuff has always had very efficient textures, I thought, and they're high detail and they look good.
The thing I gotta figure out is I could not figure out how to do normal.
Your plow seems kind of small now that I bought it.
That's definitely a little small.
Yeah, they have good normal maps and good textures. It looks really nice.
I gotta figure out a normal because I end up with a sometimes too high of a poly count because I can't do the normal, and I don't need the extra poly count, but I can't get the detail that I want without the normal. And I don't.
Well,
know
I
how to
don't
make
do
them all.
any Blender work really, because I know how to open Blender and say, "Ooh, this is nice," and then that's about it. You know, I can actually import I'm so proud I can import a model into Blender now. I can look at it, I can pan around and see what it looks like, but then I'm done. That's about it. But
The
if
only
I'm
thing
going
I
to
can do
retouch,
in Blender is
there you go. So what I do in mine, if I'm going to retexture buildings, like for example, I want to take an old 2013 or 2015 building, I'll retexture it with new textures, map it to them, but basically I just use a bigger texture or a higher resolution so it looks decent, and then I use Photoshop to make the normal. There's an NVIDIA plugin that I've got for the Photoshop
oh,
that
look at that tractor. Oh, it's on even the
Oh, really?
frees him.
Oh, he's got the little plow from the pack too.
Little 3-furrow plow, 4-furrow plow.
Yeah, and I mean, you'll be able to use. It kind of explained how they did these windows in a video, but how they did it, if you like how it.
Well, some of them I've noticed, it's basically they just made a little box inside of there and it's painted, it's textured inside of there. Some of it is on some of them. Because I jumped up there at night, did the flight mode and stood right in front of the window and looked in. You can see really clearly there that it's just painted on. But they did a good job with it. You know, you won't be able to tell it's painted on unless you're standing right in front of the window.
Awesome.
So when you're moving by, you're just floating by the window or whatever. It looks very convincing. And I like the way they light up at night inside of there. It makes the light look like it's coming from inside the room. Yeah, we get new trees too. That's nice.
Bruce Street.
Yeah, the only trees I've really had trouble with putting them in my maps is the pine trees in Emerald Coast. The rest of them seem to work really well. I've seen some people in chat, you know, saying bad things about the volume tree or whatever, and I'm like, I haven't had any trouble with the volume tree. I've got probably 100,000 of them on Midtown. It doesn't hurt the frame rate at all on it, but if you start getting pine trees, too many pine trees in one area, your frames go down fast, especially in the early morning and the late evening when the shadows are long. So it's something to do with the way those pine trees make their shadows.
So
I
what's
think.
really funny though with the volume tree, like I can't. What map was I on? Sibakwa or something.
Mhm.
I can't cut
Oh.
the chainsaw. Can't cut
Volume
it down.
tree?
Yeah, the
Really?
volume tree.
Yeah,
Yeah.
shadow. Is this
I had to go
the
into
Well,
the
that-
map.
this the mountain?
Have they
Go
been
back.
scaled? Have they been
Yeah,
scaled?
there's the mountain.
Yes.
If
Now
they're
see
not
shadow.
111, then a lot of times you have real bad trouble cutting them. They get wonky with the chainsaw. They had that back in 2015 when we first started having forest trees, period. I found that on the churn farm because when I was trying to match my trees up on churn, when I converted it from the 2011 original to my 2015 first try at it, all the trees were the wrong sizes, and so here I am having to rescale everything to make it look right. And then in the game, I was irritated because one of the trees was kind of in my way, and I pulled the chainsaw out and it wouldn't cut.
Yep.
And then it was weird, like the cut point was at the wrong spot, and then I finally figured out that the collision on the tree was not matching the visual on the tree, and the scaling is what did that. If I left them 111, they were fine. But
Right. Cut the tree.
somehow
Cut the tree.
it would jump or it would explode or go different directions, and then we get tangled up in weird ways. And then when you hit F5 to see what the collision is doing, you can see why, because you got this collision that's just all over the place. You know, it's really weird looking. And it was because I scaled it. I figured that out because the trees that were 111 didn't give me any trouble, even if they were the same type of tree. So, and it was only those weird trees like you know, the maple or the volume tree. Of course, in 15 that was called an oak. Birch, and then that other tree they had, ash tree, I think it was.
Southwest over here.
Yeah, I just went into
Fox.
GE, hit it, disabled the collision, and then it was gone.
Yeah.
Same effect. What I was looking for.
We're using the Upper
But I
Austrian
try when I'm putting them in my
Geo?
maps, I try to keep them the right scale. Now, sometimes
get
I'll
it.
rescale them a little bit, and like in Midtown, some of them are rescaled if I know it's not going to be a tree that people are going to be cutting. If I want it to be visually a certain way, but then I usually leave those trees on non-viable land so that nobody can mess with them, and then that way it's not an issue.
Yeah, Upper
But if I put the
Austria.
trees on a place where the player is going to be interacting, then that's where the trees have to be 1-1-1 in the scale. And if you want to make the tree larger, that's fine. Just make the tree larger, but then freeze transformations, to change it back to 1-1-1 when you're done sizing it, so that everything will still work out. This is a very scenic map, that's for sure. It's beautiful.
Relaxing plowing the old-fashioned way sometimes.
Oh.
I'm hoping the Giants didn't do in here like they did in Sosnovka, where you'll have, for example, all the power lines in Sosnovka are one mesh. All the other assets I wanted to get are all one mesh. The road's all one mesh. Probably, well, I'm sure the road is, or maybe a series of meshes. That can be frustrating because if you don't know how to do Blender, you can't get in there and bust them apart. They had some beautiful railroad signals in Sosnovka that were actually American looking, but I couldn't use them because they were all one mesh. The BGA and all the power buildings and structures there were all one mesh. It was really kind of frustrating. Yeah, it's a little weird there with the green grass, and all of a sudden you have snow on the hill there.
Yeah, it'll be better when it's snowy mountain.
I'm wondering how Giants is changing the color of the texture there. Is it a Seasons Admirer, or is it some other thing they've come up with? Because the way I would have done it if I was using Seasons Admirer, the way the Seasons guys do, is I would have had the snow at the tops, which is always that way, and then the bottom part of the mountain would have been regular color, and then you swap that with an alternate texture set for the snow. Just white everywhere. But with the Admirer, the only time that shows up is if there's actually snow in the game on the ground. In one of the past game versions, they had those little marker signs there where you could knock them over. And now they just phase through things.
Yeah, you definitely.
Now, in single player on this map, have you noticed yet whether the signs fall over if you hit them?
Yeah, I've hit it.
Okay, so that's the same as the other maps then.
I ran.
That's right, I remember now. I saw you knock one over. I forgot about that little detail.
People think I don't drive on, can't drive right. Sometimes I run into things.
When I drive, I run into things on purpose too sometimes, but I get in trouble for doing that.
We are pretty much done our map drive of the roads. We're going to call it for the night.
I want to see how they got the new foliage layers done in this map when we ever get a chance to edit it, because we have some new flowers in here that are not in the old ones, that are not in the regular game maps.
Thank you for coming out and watching. we're probably not going to be streaming over the weekend. The next time we're going to be streaming is going to be Monday night over on SnowRunner. This Monday they are going to be releasing Season 2 update content that we've been showing off in the public test server build. I'll be releasing that to the release branch for everyone to experience. So I thought we'd be streaming SnowRunner on Monday, kind of to celebrate that release. So until next time, guys, happy farming.